Today we are talking about a soul food diet versus a plant-based diet. Oh, this is a huge topic, a huge debate. I get this question asked constantly. So let me start off by saying that all addictions are about pleasure because it releases endorphins, right? And whether we realize it or not, we are addicted to some of the foods that we eat, primarily because some of the food companies put neurotoxins, chemicals in there that will make you feel good, make you enjoy it more. That way you'll keep coming back for more, right? So we know that we have some mild food addictions, right? We also know that food is deeply personal, especially when you're talking about your cultural food. And for us, that's soul food. It's deeply personal because it's what we grew up on. It's what our grandmothers fed us. It's what brought us around the table together. It's what we did. We broke bread even through slavery and through other difficult periods in our history. Soul food was what fed our souls, right? So we need to know that we get that, and I understand why it's hard, but we also need to understand that the food of today is not the same food of yesterday. Food has become industrialized, and so a lot of the foods that our grandparents gave us didn't have the chemicals and preservatives and hormones in it that they have today. So first, let's talk about frying food because fried food increases the levels of carcinogens in it, right? Fried food makes you more susceptible to cancer. That's what that means. Okay. So eating a soul food diet every day is problematic. It could create some problems. Um, in fact, pancreatic cancer is very high amongst African Americans, and I think it's about 80% higher in African Americans than other racial groups. So it's something to be considered. Now, understand this. I'm not big on these studies that they do, and these medical reports they always present because I also know that we live in a racist society, and systemic racism did not leap over healthcare. It is deeply ingrained in healthcare. So don't put a whole lot on when I quote medical journals, but sometimes I do, and sometimes it's valid and it's worth it. But I will say that a diet that's high in fried foods, organ meats, processed meat, cow's milk, sugary drinks are bad for you. It increases your chances of a stroke and other diseases by 60%, something like that. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer, right? High consumption of those foods is definitely bad for you. Definitely bad for you. A plant-based diet has proven time and time again to be much better for you. Now, that being said, do I think that going plant-based is necessary? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think our addiction to unhealthy fats is a problem. So, you ain't got to be a vegan if you don't want to. You ain't got to go plant-based if you don't want to. Because ain't nothing worse than watching somebody sitting there suffering, wishing they could eat something, because that's even worse. Because the mind, y'all, is more powerful than anything. But anyway, so these fried foods, though, is what I want. If you're going to change, make some minor changes in your lifestyle, fried foods got to go first. Now, I just want you to wrap your mind around this. Use some common sense. Our bodies are 98.6 degrees, right? That's the normal body temperature. Oil, cooking oil, is made at a temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit. 212 degrees, right? That means in order for the oil to liquefy, the oil that we put into our bodies, in order for it to liquefy, to be removed from our bodies, we have to heat up our bodies to 213 degrees. And we're just not equipped to do that. And so this oil stays in our bodies. Our bodies can't break it down. It clogs up our cells. It makes our cells stick together. It just goes there to die, and it stays there. And then later on, after we have these clogged up blood vessels and clogged up arteries and nerve cells, then our bodies can't get the oxygen that it needs throughout our bodies, and it causes a whole bunch of other problems. So if you're going to get rid of anything, get rid of the fried foods. There are so many great air fryers on the market now that, I mean, come on. And listen, you're not going to eat some fried chicken today and feel sick tomorrow, right? This is long term. It takes a while because our bodies are pretty resilient. So it's going to take a long time before your body says, yo, you tripping. This is too much. But why wait for that to happen? Make some small changes. Get an air fryer. If you're going to fry food, don't deep fry it. Do not deep fry it. Just fry it on top of the stove with a little bit of grease. And then choose healthy animals. You don't have to go vegan or plant-based, but if you're going to eat an animal, make sure it's organic. Make sure there's no hormones. And make sure it was raised humanely, because all those things factor into your health because you're putting that into your body. So get organic, free range, antibiotic free, hormone free, blah, blah, blah. Healthy, high quality animals. I know you're going to say, but Ray, it's too expensive. Yeah, it might be a little more pricey, but I guarantee you it's cheaper than chemo and radiation. It's cheaper than insulin. It's cheaper than a whole bunch of them beta blockers and metformin and all the other stuff that you're taking. Way cheaper. So spend the extra dollar and get healthy animals. Now, if you're still going to eat meat, I want you to eat smaller portions, right? Vegetables, grains should be beans, grains, vegetables, all that should be the largest portion of your diet with just a little bit of meat. Most of my people eat, 5 pieces of chicken, put a little bit, you see that plate? A little bit of black eyed peas on there, a little bit of collard greens. Look, the chicken's taking up half the plate, and the other half was with the vegetables and beans. That's not how it should be. It should be a small portion of meat and a large portion of everything else. Okay? So eat mostly plants, eat mostly fruit, eat mostly vegetables, eat mostly beans, grains, legumes, all of that. And then become a deliberate eater. Deliberate eating is when you make conscious and intentional food choices. That's it. You can't eat, pork chops and bacon and ham for breakfast and then do it for lunch and do it for dinner. No, boo, that ain't cute. You have to make conscious and intentional food choices. So you know what you ate yesterday. You know what you ate this morning. You need to eat something better or different or to balance it at your next meal. Deliberate eating is the way to go.